Well, happy Thursday to you. We're almost finished with another week. I know you're looking forward to the weekend like I am. And today we're just going to continue what we've been working on, and that is subtraction with regrouping. And so we're going to work on these together today, and then I'll let you go try your own. Pretty much these are just subtracting like we did yesterday. The differences today, as you can see, and these are called our standards. Sometimes we're going to have to decompose to smaller units up to 3 times. Well, that sounds fancy. It's just a fancy way to say we might have to borrow as many as 3 times in these problems. So yesterday we were borrowing like once. Today, some of these problems we're going to have to borrow up to 3 times. So again, we could draw tape diagrams to do these. I'm going to do a couple. But we just really need to focus on subtraction, and getting the subtraction portion right is our focus for today. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a tape diagram for this first problem. The bigger number we know is our whole number up here. It's 2,460. That's the whole piece of the puzzle put together. And the two pieces we're given 1,370. And we want to know what's the other piece of the puzzle that would equal 2,460. We subtract these to find out. 2,460 minus 1,370. Now, don't forget to put the bigger number on top, and make sure you copy your numbers right when you're writing them vertically like this. So let's see how many times we have to borrow in this problem. Some of these will be up to 3, it says. 0 minus 0 is 0. I cannot take 7 away from a 6. When I used to teach subtraction a long time ago, I used to say, more on the floor, go next door. Your teacher ever said that? The floor would be the bottom number. There's more on the floor here than there is on the top, so we got to go next door and borrow. So we've got 7. Can't take 7 away from a 6, so we're going to have to borrow from the hundreds place. We'll borrow 100. And now instead of having 4 hundreds, we only have 3. So that gives 10 tens. 10 plus 6 is 16. And now we can subtract. 16 minus 7 is 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay. So there's our answer. This is the missing piece of the puzzle over here. It's also our answer for this problem, 1,090. Now, if you are having trouble with subtraction problems like 16 minus 7. That happens sometimes, okay? The more you practice, the better you're going to get. I suggest you go on to Math Playground or find some kind of game, and after you get all your assignments done, go find some kind of subtraction game where you can practice subtracting, because the more you subtract, the easier it gets, and you won't have to spend so long thinking about 16 minus 7 or counting them up on your fingers. Or I know probably some of you are having to do that. And this new math, gosh, it goes very quickly, doesn't it? And so they kind of expect you to already know how to subtract. So if you're having troubles, you might want to spend some time on your own doing subtraction games, just practicing with flashcards with mom and dad, because the expectation is pretty high with this new math that Hamlin County is asking us to do. So let's move on to problem number 2 now. This one says 2,460 minus 1,470. All right. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't take 7 away from a 6, can I? So I've got to go over here and borrow from the hundreds. More on the floor, go next door. That leaves 3 hundreds there. And that gives 10 tens to this. So that makes it 16. And we know that 16 minus 7 is 9. Oh, but our problem changed, didn't it? Now we can't do 4 away from 3. So now we've got more on the floor, go next door again. I've got to borrow from the thousands, and leaves only 1,000s. So I gave 10 hundreds, which is 1,000, to this. It makes that 3 a 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. So our answer is 990. Let's look at it over here in expanded form like the Khan Academy video showed you. So it would be 2,000 plus 400 plus 60 plus 0 minus 1,000 plus 400 plus 70 plus 0. We just wrote it out in expanded form. And this just kind of shows what we did here, but it kind of shows it at each place. So don't worry about these plus signs. That's just because it's expanded form. We're subtracting. 0 minus 0 is 0. Okay, we got that. I can't take 70 away from 60, so I'm going to have to borrow one of the hundreds from the 400 that I have, and that leaves only 300. And so I'm going to add 100 over here. What happens when I add 100 plus 60? Then I've got 160 now. So now I've got a bigger number here. That works. 160 minus 70 is 90. Uh-oh, I can't take 400 if I only have 300. So I have to borrow from the thousands place. I had 2,000. Now I only have 1,000. So I'm going to add 1,000 over here. What's 1,000 plus the 300 that I have? That's going to make it 1,300 minus 400. It's 900. And then 1,000 plus or minus 1,000 would be 0. So in expanded form, it would be 900 plus 90 plus 0, which equals, 990. So if you want to write the problems out in expanded form, if it helps you see it, to do it that way, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to do a little more writing. Or you can just subtract it. Or you can draw a tape diagram. These are just strategies to help you see what we're actually doing and maybe to help you understand how to subtract. So either one of these on any problems that you want to work today, it's fine with me, or just subtract if you're doing okay subtracting. I'm not going to show any more of these on these regular problems because it takes so much time. So let's move ahead. All right, 97,684 minus 49,700. Let's subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 0 is 8. I can't take 7 away from 6. I've got to borrow from the thousands place. Take 1 away, it only leaves 6 thousands. Gives 10 to the hundreds place. Makes 6 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. I can't take 9 away from a 6. So I've got to borrow from the 10 thousands place and leaves 8 ten thousands. But it gives 10 thousands to 6, which makes it 16 thousands. 16 minus 9 is 7. 8 minus 4 is 4. Our answer is 47,984. Next problem. 2,460 minus 1,472. And if you'd like to work these out with me as I do them, that's fine. You're going to have to work some on your own in your homework assignment, but if you'd like to work them out and see if you get the right answer, maybe see if you can beat me, that would be fun practice. I can't take 2 away from a 0, so I've got to borrow from the tens place. It leaves 5 tens and gives us 10 ones. 10 minus 2 is 8. I can't take 7 away from 5, so I've got to borrow from the hundreds place. It leaves 3 hundreds and gives me 10 more tens, which would make 15 tens. 15 minus 7 is 8. I can't take 4 away from 3, so I've got to borrow from the hundreds place. It leaves me 100 and gives me 1,000. 1,000. I got to borrow from the thousands place. It leaves me 1,000. It gives me 10 more hundreds, which makes it 13 hundreds. 13 minus 4 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. Our answer is 988. All right, you want to race me on the next one? Let's have a race. Are you ready? I'll give you time to write your problem out. It's a big one. 124,306 minus 31,117. I'll give you a second. We're going to race. Don't you start yet. On your mark. Get set. Go. I can't take 7 away from 6, so I got to borrow. Wait a minute. This was a bad one to race on. I can't borrow from a 0. There's nothing to borrow from. Oh, my goodness. So I've got to move over here. So I've got to borrow all the way over here in the hundreds place. You're going to beat me, I bet. And that gives me 2 hundreds. And that makes the 0 gives me 10 tens. But I'm not done yet because I've still got to borrow from that 10 tens. So if I borrow from 10 tens, it leaves me 9 tens, and add 10 ones to that 6. It gives me 16. That was a hard one. 16 minus 7 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 5. I can't take 3 away from 2. I've got to borrow from that 1. It leaves 0. It gives me 10 more 10,000s. So it makes it 12 10,000s. Minus 3 is... You probably beat me. That was hard. You know what I want to do? I said I wasn't going to draw any more out, but I think we need to look at that one in expanded form since it has that 0 in a place there. You want to? You probably don't, but I think it's good if we do. So we have 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 4,000 plus, I didn't give myself enough room, 300 plus 0 plus 6. Oh, brother. And we're taking away 30,000 plus 1,000 plus 100 plus 10 plus 7. So we're subtracting. So looking here, I can't take 7 away from 6, and I don't have any 10s to borrow from. So we have to go over here. This is tiny, sorry. And borrow from the hundreds. And if we borrow from the 300, it makes it a 200. It gives this 0 there, 100. You know what? I'm going to write this over. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. I need to make sure you can see this. 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 4,000 plus 300 plus 0 plus 6. And we're taking away 30,000 plus 1,000 plus 100 plus 10 plus 7. Now, we can see it better now. Okay, so we're subtracting. I can't take a 7 away from a 6, and I have no 10s to borrow from. So when that happens, you got to go over to the next place over, to the hundreds place in this case, and where we had 300s, we're going to borrow 100, so we only have 200 left. And we're to give that 100 that we borrowed to the 0 and make it a 100. So now we've got to borrow from the 100. We've got to borrow from it. We've got to borrow 10. I'll borrow 10 from the 100. That leaves 90. And I give that 10 to the 6, and it makes it a 16. Whew. It's kind of tricky, isn't it? Now we can subtract. 16 minus 7 is 9. 90 minus 10 is 80. 200 minus 100 is 100. 4,000 minus 1,000 is 3,000. And did I write the problem right? I don't know if I did or not. Yeah. And then, okay. Can't take away 30,000 from 20,000. So I've got to borrow from the 100,000s and make it, I'm going to borrow 100,000 and make it a 0. We're going to give 100,000 to 20,000. That makes it 120,000. 120,000 minus 30,000 is 90,000. So I've got something wrong here. What did I do? I said up here, you know what I did? 4 minus 1 is 5. That's why I was getting confused. 4 minus 1 isn't 5. 4 minus 1 is 3. I was racing you and trying to beat you, and I just got sloppy. So 90,000 plus 3,000 plus 100 plus 80 plus 9 would be 93,189. There we go. I shouldn't have tried to race you. I messed myself up. I bet you really beat me on that one. Well, let's go ahead and work some more. 97,684 minus 4,705. These are tricky, aren't they? All right. Can't take 5 away from 4. We're going to borrow from the tens place. Makes it a 7. It gives us 10 more ones. 14 minus 5 is 9. 7 minus 0 is 7. I can't take 7 away from 6. I've got to borrow from the thousands place. So that leaves 6 thousands. I'm giving 10 hundreds to the 6 hundreds that I have. Makes it 16 hundreds. Minus 7 is 9. 6 minus 4 is 2. 9 minus 0 is 9. Our answer is 92,979. All right, I'm going to skip these last 3 problems, and I'm going to go on down to the word problems because otherwise our video is going to be really long today. So there are 86,400 seconds in one day. If Mr. Liegel is at work for 28,800 seconds a day, how many seconds a day is he away from work? Let's put our tape diagram together on this one. So we've got our whole number. We know that how many seconds there are in the day. There are 86,400 seconds in one day. That seems like a lot of seconds, doesn't it? Okay. And we know that Mr. Liegel is at work for 28,800 of those seconds. And we want to know this number, how many seconds during the day he is not at work. So we've got to subtract to find the missing piece of the puzzle like we've been doing. 86,400 minus 28,800. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Can't take 8 away from 4. We're going to borrow from the thousands place. We had 6. That only leaves 5 thousands. We're going to give 10 hundreds to the 4 that we have, which makes it 14 hundreds. 14 minus 8 is 6. Can't take 8 away from 5. We've got to go borrow from the 10,000s place. We had 8. Now we only have 7. Now I'm going to give 10,000 to the 5. 10 and 5 is 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 9. Our missing piece of the puzzle is 97,600 seconds. That is not right. Mr. Helton, 7 minus 2 is not 9. 7 minus 2 is 5. I am adding instead of subtracting. You all don't make the same mistake I am doing. Did you catch me again? I'm going too fast. Got to slow down. All right. Next problem. Newspaper company delivered 240,900 newspapers before 6 a.m. on Sunday. There were a total of 525,600 newspapers to deliver. How many more newspapers needed to be delivered on Sunday? So they were supposed to deliver this many, and they delivered this many before 6 a.m. How many more newspapers needed to be delivered? So this total number that they had that they were supposed to deliver was 525,600. The missing pieces of the puzzle, so we can know what we're doing here. All right, they got this many delivered before 6 a.m. How many more do they need to deliver out of this many? So we're going to subtract 525,600 minus 240,900. Okay, are you ready? Maybe I won't make a mistake this time. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't take 9 away from 6, so I've got to go to take one of our thousands. I had 5 thousands. Now I only have 4, and I'm giving 10 hundreds to the 6. And now I have 1600s. 16 minus 900 is 7. Okay, I can't. No, this is a 0. I got to be careful how we write our numbers too. 4 minus 0 is 4. Can't take 4 away from 2. So I've got to borrow from the 100,000s place. That leaves me 400,000. I'm going to give 100,000, which is 10 thousands. So this makes this a 12. 10 and 2 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. So they still have 284,700 newspapers to deliver. 2 more, and I'll let you do your work. A theater holds a total of 2,013 chairs. 197 chairs are in the VIP section. How many chairs are not in the VIP section? So let's get our whole number over here. There's a total of 2,013 chairs in the theater. It's our total number. We've got our tape diagram here. We know that there's 197 chairs in the VIP section. How many of these are not in the VIP section? We subtract to find out. 2013 minus 197. I can't take a 7 away from a 3, so I've got to borrow from the 10s. That leaves me 0 10s. I'm going to give that 10 to the 3. That makes the 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. I can't take 9 away from 0, so I've got to borrow. I can't borrow from 0, so I've got to move over. So we're going to borrow 1,000 from 2,000. That leaves 1,000. Okay, that makes this a 10. 10 hundreds would be 1,000. But I still can't take 9 away from 0, so I've got to borrow from this 10, this 100 that we have, and I'm going to make it 9. And that gives 10 more 10s here, makes this a 10. Whew, now we can subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 1 is 8. So there are 1,816 chairs that are not in VIP section. 1,816. Last one. This will get your brain tired, won't it? Chuck's mom spent $19,155 on a new car. She had $30,064 in her bank account. How much money does she have after buying the car? So Chuck's mom's got a lot of money, doesn't she? Do our tape diagram. She had a total of $30,064. But she spent $19,155. How much does she have left in her bank account? Let's subtract and find out. 30,064 minus 19,155. I can't take 5 away from 4, so I've got to borrow. Makes that a 5. It gives me 10 more here. Makes it a 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. 5 minus 5 is 0. I can't take 1 away from 0, and I have nothing to borrow from here. So I've got to go to the next spot over. I'm going to borrow one of those 10,000s. So there's only 2 10,000s left there. So I'm going to give 10,000s to the thousands place. But I can't take 1 away from 0 still. So I've got to borrow from this. Now I only have 9 10,000s. So I'm going to give 9,000. So I'm going to give 1,000 to the hundreds place, which is 10 hundreds. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So our answer is $10,909 is how much she has left in her bank account. All right. Well, guys, this is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. So I want you to go get started on these problems now. Couple mistakes I made. I added when I was supposed to be subtracting. We just get distracted sometimes, so make sure you're focused and concentrating and subtract. I also wrote some numbers sloppy a couple times, and I wasn't sure if it was a 0 or a 6. So make sure you're writing your numbers neatly. Don't make the same mistakes I did, okay? Go get started on this, and I think you're going to do a great job.